Wow, looks like we're barely going to be getting sunshine today. It is what it is. Let's get right on going.
Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
Hopefully things are going well for you guys. As for me, welcome to the Gamer Man's Lounge. And, of course, roll that intro for Video Game Classics. Gaming of today is taking a crap. Might as well step back and go retro. Video game preservation is a big damn deal. All the games you missed out in the past. Let's take a look at all the treasures on carts and discs. Maybe someone will bring them to today for a second chance. But hey, this is Insert Channel Name here, and welcome to the archival of games of the past. Let's go retro with Video Game Classics. Just so you know, I had to go through the mental gymnastics of coming up with this intro. So for crying out loud, please appreciate it. Today in Video Game Classics, it's time we revisit a wonderful tale of dinosaurs and crazy badass weapons and respawning weapons. And a game that really encourages you to explore. That's right, explore everywhere. Search everywhere. That's right, Turok Dinosaur Hunter. The beginning of the Turok franchise. That's right, Turok. Ah yes, right from my childhood, that kind of takes me back. Me and my family rented Turok 1 and 2, especially the third game. However, I ended up getting my family into getting me Turok 1, and I got Turok 1, so... Okay, so there was Turok 1 that did later got ported to the PC. I did get a hold of its PC version. That was like the PC version that came before the Night Dive remaster, and then Night Dive remastered. Oh, hey, look, there's the history. So, Turok 1 was a timed exclusive, just like Turok 2. Released first on Nintendo 64, but then later would get ported to the PC. Same story with Turok 2, but we're talking about the first game first, so here we go. However, like Turok 2, Night Dive ended up remastering Turok Dinosaur Hunter for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. So yes, you take the role as Turok. Yes, that's right, you are Turok. And, of course, you end up traveling to the Lost Land where enemy soldiers, monsters, and dinosaurs end up wanting to square up with you. Well, there's a big bad that's been causing a mess, and this person happens to be known as the Campaigner. So having to put up with the Campaigner and his bullshit, you're basically tasked with finding all the keys to the Nexus and unlock all the levels, and basically, yeah, just collect all the keys, which also means keeping an eye out. This also means you have to explore everywhere. That's right, every field, every water, everywhere. This game encourages exploration from left and right, okay? That's how Turok works. And not just the keys you might want to keep an eye out on. Keep an eye out for secrets, and especially secret areas. That's going to lead to early weapons and more loot. Now, there are power-ups in the game, and they involve time slowing, increased ammo cap, increased health cap. By the way, that increased health cap is you get to knife enemies. You have to keep knifing enemies until you keep getting that. And also, be careful, don't die, because your increased ammo caps and your increased health caps can reset. There's going to be random blue portals that are just going to show up. So you go through those, and you go to those bonus levels that's going to carry additional resources and weapons. But, however, when it comes to the life force chips that get scattered across maps after map after map, you collect 100 of them and you get an extra life. However, your lives can get capped at 9, so you get up to 9 lives, so here you go. Also, here's a serious heads up. You're going to run into boss fights that will show up later in the game. And you have to fight those bosses and take them out in order to get the level's final key. That's going to happen when you go through some levels. Oh, and also I almost forgot to mention, there's pieces of the Chronoscepter that's like scattered across maps. And if you collect all of the pieces, you get to form the Chronoscepter, which is actually gonna pretty much simplify the final boss fight. Not just that, the Chronoscepter is actually a pretty insanely crazy weapon you could get your hands on. It's wild. So, of course, alongside your Chronoscepter that you have to get the pieces to assemble, your weapons that you start off with is a knife, a bow and arrow, but however later you get shotguns, assault rifles, miniguns, pulse rifles, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and other unique destructive sci-fi weapons, especially including the Chronoscepter. You have a wider array of weapons, including the specialty weapons that go insane. By the way, you're not going to regenerate health because it's a classic first-person shooter. So, by the way, collect health packs to heal. Now, the blue and yellow is going to cap you at 100 HP, but the white and ultra health packs are going to get you past 100 HP. And also, when it comes to armor, collect tech armor for, of course, armor. Oh, you might want to be careful and play things carefully, so don't get cocky. You'll end up dying a lot. And if you die, it can get pretty much punishing. So in death, you can respawn if you have spare lives, but you will be penalized per death. Luckily, you do have things like saving and loading, so if you have to, you can go ahead and just load. If you could go ahead and start over and load if you don't want to go through having to basically increase the health cap and ammo cap again. So yeah, this game requires a whole lot of exploration from left to right, so you're going to be exploring all over the place from left to right. Otherwise, you'll end up having to basically revisit levels from left and right because, okay, you're missing keys. Just keep an eye out, just pay attention, explore everywhere. That's how things are. But watch out, there's going to be some pitfalls where you can fall to your death. And like I said, just be careful. And of course, there's going to be platforming. There's going to be some platforming segments, so something to keep in mind about too. I want to go ahead and get this one issue out the way, and this is a quick heads up. The game's control is going to be noticeably tight, and when it comes to the tight control, and especially the platforming, it can get pretty much rough when you're like adjusting to it. So, something to keep in mind about that. Now, there is plenty to like about Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Its well-hidden secrets, its great level design, its amazing selection of weapons, including the high-tech explosive weapons that can get pretty much destructive, especially including the Chronoscepter. Like, discovering these weapons is already insane, but it's absolutely more rewarding if you collect all the pieces of the Chronoscepter, and you gotta like the Chronoscepter. It's one hell of a great weapon, I will say that. When it comes to the animations in Turok Dinosaur Hunter, they're very detailed. They're highly detailed. Like, when you shoot an enemy in the head, you get this unique death animation, and it was like, oh wow, that is just the amount of detail that is put in the animations. Like, my goodness, like, the animation is just this, it's so ahead of its time, I will say that. Turok is going to be a really challenging game, so something you keep in mind about that, but the challenge is absolutely really good, because when you conquer the challenge, it feels rewarding. It really does feel just as rewarding as putting together the Chronoscepter. And of course, you have some hugely explorable environments. Yeah, for some it can be underwhelming, but when you explore everywhere from left to right, and you discover things from left and right, it's like, okay, yeah, you could get pretty much well-equipped. And for a game that really encourages you to explore, the environment design, the level design, the environments, they're totally worth the amounts of exploration, I will say that. And the gameplay is pretty much great. It's insane, it's addicting, it's like you can't even put the controller down, or you can't even keep your hands off the WASD keys. it's a good time. You're down for a really good time when it comes to the weapons, when it comes to fighting the enemies, when it comes to, like, mastering the gameplay mechanics, when it comes to, like, figuring out how enemies work. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, enemies respawn, so it'll keep you on your toes, so you might want to be aware of that. So, all in all, there's a good reason why Turok Dinosaur Hunter is a childhood smash hit, in my honest opinion here, because, yeah, it's a really damn good game. You get to fight dinosaurs, and you get to explore those huge environments, and there's crazy weapons. Like I said, the Chronoceptor, that's going to be everybody's favorite weapon. I will go ahead and say, it's a really good game. It's a really good franchise. If you want to go ahead and get started, you might want to consider the Night Dive remaster. It's going to be an easier way of accessing Turok. So that totally said, Turok Dinosaur Hunter is a good time guarantee, and I will say it is highly, shall I say, recommendable at best.
Ah, yes. Exploring the great outdoors. You can explore the great outdoors, and you don't have to worry about dealing with dinosaurs wanting to fight you. You're not in the Lost Worlds. You're not Turok. We don't have to worry about taking up the mantle of becoming Turok and having to fight dinosaurs and having to fight some guy called the Campaigner and having to put up with that guy's bullshit and then having to collect pieces of the Chronoceptor. It is the way that it is. And call that a blessing. It's not easy being a Turok. It is the way that it is. And with that totally said, that is all, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.